the MOT. It wasn't too bad, but it failed on rust. Typical E36 problem, jacking pads look like they're starting to hold up. I've already got one that's been welded up on this car, the other one hasn't, and it was quite justified. I had a couple of holes in the actual sills, which I feel almost embarrassed I didn't check before I went and took it to the MOT. We're on the way at the moment to go and get a few bits before we get down to the garage, cut out the old metal, weld in a couple of plates, tart it up, give it a paint and get it ready for the next MOT that I'll have a retest on hopefully next week. Stick with us, you'll see a little bit of me putting plates back on the car, probably a bit of cursing and swearing, and a lot of standing in the pit in wellies because it's been raining here. But there's your jacking pad there, and you can see that the metal has gone in a hole here and another hole here. So I reckon we're going to have to grind away all this area here, this entire sort of surface, have a little look and see what's underneath the underseal, and then we'll make a patch and we'll pop it in there. Okay, so we've got our hole cut out. I'm pretty happy. The jacking pad is actually fairly good. It's rusty in the bottom, but I don't know if we can see up inside there. I'll get the GoPro right in there maybe. No, that's a bag of shite. Okay, so you can actually see up inside there. It's not in bad condition, and I've got really quite good metal all around it. So we've got a template that I've basically cut to fill the gap. I'm not going to bother with the jacking pad hole, it's pointless. I use a block of wood underneath my jack anyway, so let's get this metal here cut out and get it tacked up inside. Here's my little panel cut from my template, which you can see just back here. So this is now going to go up in the car, we'll tack weld it in, and then we'll sort of stitch weld the whole way around it, give it a good coat of paint, and then we'll move over to the other side and see what we've got to play with over there. And your fucking welding mask is fucking, how did they stop this happening? Don't film me doing this, please. Right, so we've had a bit of a nightmare. I'm not the best welder at the best times, but the welding that I've done down there is embarrassingly shite. Part of it I think is a problem with the wire that I've got. If you have a look down there, I've got some very old wire that I've been using, and I was running out of it anyway, so I've decided to go and spend some money and buy some more wire at Halfords. I've got myself some flux cord MIG wire, which I've got a little bit of here. I'm about to try and refeed the wire. I'm going to wire brush what we've got underneath the car, the absolute dog shit job that I've done so far, and then we're going to have another shot at it, so hopefully we can get a bead running. I just can't seem to stop the welder from playing silly buggers today, so yeah, look at that, I had no wire left. But okay, so we've got the plate welded in. It's getting a bit dark now, so it's difficult to see it. It's ugly as hell, but it's functional and it's solid. And it's not going anywhere, so I'm just going to give it a lick of paint and then we're going to get over to the other side and start work on that one.
Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's the bottom of the jacking pad.
Right.
Oh well, we're going to have to do something with it, aren't we? Yeah, on this side, babe, it's not too bad. It's only 53 size bit of hole. It doesn't go very far up, and it comes to about here.
But how far this way?
All the way to the inner sill.
Oh. Oh my god. Do you have enough sheet metal to do anything with? You do?
It actually only goes up to about here.
Okay.
This has been a real bodge job, this. Oh, I don't believe it, man. My babies are rock box. Alright, I better get to cutting and grinding. This is what remains of the lower jacking pad, and it was hidden by somebody who'd plated over it completely. So I need to replace the bottom half of this jacking pad, or this part. I reckon I can cut a piece of this metal out here and use it, but I need to take this bracket off first, so I'm going to do that first of all. So it's the morning after the night before, the day before. Yeah, shit, there was a lot of welding that needed done in the end. Cut a long story short, I ended up opening up the passenger side sill and finding that somebody had done a massive bodge job repair before I got the car. Put a plate on, only welded it halfway around, hidden the rest of it underneath the plastic sill. So yeah, it was dog shit. I ended up replacing about a section of sill more than a foot long, the complete width of the sill. Had to weld on panels on the inner sill. It was, to be frank, an absolute bloody nightmare. But as it stands, we now have a solid sill, which isn't the absolute best repair I've ever done in my life, but it will pass the MOT, and it's damn sight better than what was there already. I'm actually pretty shocked by seeing something like that and not realising it was like that myself before I started working on it, and it's taught me a stark lesson in the fact that, hey, I thought only Japanese cars rusted that badly, but our beloved BMW E36s are pretty prone to it as well. So I'm heading up to the garage at the moment because I didn't finish working on the car till after it was dark last night. I was working under a fluorescent light. It was almost impossible to film. So as we're heading to the garage right now to finish off those final bits, I will show you what I've done basically with a bit of sunlight on it. My welding's not the best, it's a bit pigeon shit, but it will hold together and it's nice and solid at least, and I spent enough time making sure there was plenty of it on there. To give you an idea how much welding I went through, I used a 1/4 kilo wire reel of flux cord wire to do the welding yesterday, and that's pretty much finished now. So I was a bit astonished by that. I didn't even think I was going to need to buy more wire for the welder, and we got through the remains of what I had on the spool that I had previously, and even got through that as well. I've had to weld all the sill along there, and if I get underneath, I'll show you. We've gone all the way along the inner sill, all the way to the end. So the other side looks similar. So hope it passes MOT, folks. I've got a few things left to just put on the car. I've booked in the retest of the MOT for next Friday, so I'm just letting some people cross the road. Cut the suicide monkeys. Yeah, so we've got the MOT booked again for first thing Monday morning. I've got to put the pedal rubbers back on my pedals because apparently that failed the MOT because I have grip tape on my pedals rather than rubber. I prefer it, it's better when your feet are wet. And I have to do a little handbrake adjustment on the passenger side, so that's not too much stress. The only other thing I've got to do is re-clip back on the sill cover on the passenger side because I took that off properly last night. So yeah, 7 hours later, a shitload of rust, a lot of welding, but I think we're finally there. So let's hope and see what happens on Friday. I'll give you an update as I'd like to try and do, but I suppose that's it for now. Primo out.